Fertilizers, and today we are going to plant up a flat of winter seeds for our winter garden, and we are going to take you through the process, and then we are hoping to follow along every week and show you how the seeds are growing and finally show you how we transplant them. So in order to grow our seedlings, we're going to use a sterile seedling mix like this one. It also comes in smaller bags as well, and that will prevent diseases like damping off from taking out your seedlings. So because we're using a sterile seedling mix, it's important for us to add fertilizer so that our little seedlings can grow. A good starter mix of 3-3-3 is a good choice. A little bit of kelp meal will also help them to grow. These will be added to the seedling mix as you mix it up and before you put it in the containers. Alternatively, you can use a liquid fertilizer. This is a liquid fish fertilizer. It's a 4-3-3. I believe it also comes in a 4-1-3, and that will also help your plants to get a good start in life. So we're only working with a small amount from that bag. Since these are winter seeds, I'm not going to be too careful about it being sterile. And now I'm going to work it in. Usually when you get the seedling mix, it's a little bit drier than this and you need to add some water to it. But this was evidently out in the rain at the nursery, and so it's pretty darn wet. And I'm going to plant in it just as it is. You can see how when I squeeze it, it holds together. That's as wet as you want your seedling mix. So I'm going to take a clean 6-pack and I'm going to fill it with dirt. I'm going to run my hands over it loosely. I want to make sure that all the holes are filled, but I'm not going to pack it down like that because that is way too tight. These are little teeny seeds and their roots need to be able to get down through. So now that we have our flat full of filled 6-packs, we are going to select the seeds that we're going to grow. It is early January right now, so we are going to select things that we are going to start in containers because the seeds are very small, and then we will transplant them out at the end of January into the garden. Seeds that are good to plant in the winter include all of the brassicas, such as broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and kale. Asian vegetables, such as Asian cabbage, also komatsuna does really well in the winter time. Pretty much all of your greens, this is arugula, but spinach and Swiss chard also do really well in the winter time. Peas are everyone's favorite. We won't start those in containers. Those will go directly in the ground, but those are a great winter crop. And then herbs such as dill and cilantro do really well in the winter. They like a cool season and they like it really moist. So I'm going to plant 2 seeds per cell. That way, if one of them doesn't come up, I'm covered, but you can also easily plant 2 tomatoes, 2 broccolis, 2 cabbage plants in a 6-pack cell, and that will save you a lot of space if you're going to plant things under lights, like you're going to plant your tomatoes now. If you only have 1 light, then maybe you only want 1 6-pack for everything, and you can plant 12. And that part. Alright, so I have made little holes with a chopstick, wooden chopstick. They always give you too many. And then I'm going to very carefully drop a seed into each hole. Generally speaking, when you plant seeds, you want to plant them 2 to 4 times as deep as the seed is wide. I would add water to the bottom, and I would let it absorb for about 2 or 3 hours. Any water that did not absorb in 2 or 3 hours, I would pour off. I will continue to water from the bottom because it helps prevent fungal diseases. So the last step is that you have to find a good warm place outdoors to keep your seeds and get them germinating. You can see here on some of the slower growing ones, you can see these are the seed leaves that are in the seed. You can also tell, because we planted in this 1, 2, 3, 4 grid, where we had poor germination. So this is the purple cauliflower, and I can tell that I need to get some fresh seed for purple cauliflower because those obviously had really poor germination. So this is Dijon mustard, and you can see here that it looks different from Chinese cabbage. So once you have your true leaves, you'll be able to tell the different plants apart. So here are our seedlings. A little over 4 weeks has gone by, and you can see how well they're doing. They were outside on a very, very sunny southwest facing porch, so they're doing great. We have a variety of different things, and we're going to do different things with them. So this is the Becca Santo. This is the loose leaf Chinese cabbage, and it is looking really great, and it's just about ready to go straight into the ground. We're not going to transplant that into any larger containers. We'll just put it right out. This, on the other hand, is the purple cauliflower, and you can see how it's a little bit spindly, and we've also got 3 plants growing in one hole over here. And so we're going to pot that up into some slightly larger containers and let them keep growing for another couple of weeks before we transplant them into the ground. So here I have got a large 6-pack that we're going to transplant into. If I were going to transplant tomatoes or peppers, I would use a 3.5-inch pot. I like these more than 4-inch pots because you can fit 18 of them neatly into one of the 10-20 trays, which are the standard size tray. So what I do before I transplant is I put a little bit of mix in each one of the cells, and then I'm just going to pour some more mix here so that I can easily grab it while I'm working with my seedlings. And let's do the really hard one first. This is the one where we had an accidental dropping of 3 seeds into one hole, and all of them decided that they were going to germinate. So I'm going to very gently start to work them apart because I need to get some roots with each one of them. So I'm just going to very, very gently work that apart. Now I have my plant. You want to be really careful as you're handling your plant. Some people say don't handle the stem at all, but you can. You just have to be super, super gentle. So that was a little baby one, and now that one will be able to grow. And this one has done nothing. This little seedling has done nothing, so we're just going to throw that one out. And then we're just going to gently, gently, feeling it very gently, and I'm feeling it as the roots break, and I'm feeling it as the roots are coming apart in my hand. So that's the main root for that one. Okay. So they will grow roots. You just have to be careful and treat them kindly after this. Here we are preparing our outdoor bed. So I have turned it, and I have taken a whole bunch of roots out of the soil. I then added about 1 inch of compost and a layer of nice 772 fish fertilizer. And now I'm going to turn all of that in, and I'm going to rake it out, and then we will plant our seedlings. And pak choi tend to bolt, so we're going to plant them out after only a month in their little containers. And this one is a singleton, so I'm just going to slide the whole thing out, put it in the ground, and put it up to, I want the top of the soil level in the container to be the same as the top of the soil level that I'm planting it at. this one has got multiple, so I'm going to take them apart. I'm just going to very gently pull this one off, put it in the ground. You can read your seed containers and they will tell you how far apart to put plants. There are 3 of them over here that apparently I overseeded once again. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to gently separate these so that everybody gets some roots. And then I'm going to put them in a nice grid spacing so that everybody has plenty of space to grow up nice and strong. Okay, so we have finished planting out our pak choi. We have put a label in the ground so that we don't forget what we have. And the next thing we're going to do, the final thing, is that we are going to water them very carefully, because you always want to water your plants when you put them in the ground, unless there is a major rainstorm predicted for 30 minutes from now. So now we've got a cover on them, and that will protect them from cats and birds and other vermin. And these will be ready to harvest in 1 to 2 months.